Ivan, you're a CEO of a company that's now brought in a 4-day working week. What inspired that, and how's it going?
Yeah. So, well, effectively, so it's a passion. It's a personal passion of mine. In that, I've, as you can tell, I've been in employment for quite a long time, and for me, what I believe in is that there needs to be a happy medium, right? That I love working, but also, honestly, I absolutely love not working as well. So. It's been very out of kilter for years, 5 days work, 2 days off, and this stretches back. We've all been used to it, but that doesn't make it right. So, with that in mind, as a business, I decided that we needed to look a little bit more into this, and last year, in fact, so this stretches back. Last year, we decided to adopt a 4.5-day week. So that was our first step on this journey, and we decided that we'd all have Friday afternoons off, and that worked really well. But it was always a stepping stone for me, in that what I wanted to end up with was 4 days of work and 3 days of non-working time. The challenge was what was going to be the impact and effect of that, and that's the reason that I took us to a 4.5-day first, to start to evaluate what was going on. The 4-day week, it's been live since January the 1st in its entirety, and I can safely say, if you talk to the team, not a single one would ever want to go back to a 5-day working week, as I guess was probably not too surprising.
Okay, so this isn't an experiment where you've told them we're going to try this and we're going to roll it back if it doesn't. You're committed to this path. This is the way that you're going.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've been very engaging with the organisation as a whole. So, it was set out as a pilot each phase, then implemented as a permanent thing. So the 4.5-day became a permanent thing. We actually did pilot and work with the whole team from January through to the end of March on the 4-day week pilot. We wanted to be absolutely sure that customers weren't going to be affected and staff weren't going to be affected. But as of April the 1st, this is permanent. It's in fact in employees in the team's contracts. So there isn't any going back from this, no.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so you mentioned the customers there. I assume that you've got some sort of overlapping
yeah, we have
on there. So it's not everyone takes the Friday off. It's staggered across the week.
And that was one of the things we had to work on, is how, did we say that you could take any day off, or did we say you all took Friday off, or and actually consulting with the team, the end result is that everyone has to work Tuesday, well, it's not on holiday. Everyone works Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then you can either take Friday off or Monday off, or a half-day Monday and a half-day Friday. It's up to you what suits your lifestyle better. But you need to consult with your team, your colleagues, and ensure that there is coverage across your area of the business for that period of time, so that our service desk is always covered, for example.
So I assume for resource planning purposes, then that pattern has to be reasonably fixed. And once you've said these are the 4 days, no, you can change it as well?
Yeah, we ask people to put it into our forward planning, I think 4 weeks in advance, maybe. Okay. We ask people to say what they want to do, but we're pretty flexible. It's about providing the best working environment, and as long as we're delivering, the customers getting what they need, then we can be flexible.
Okay. The question that most people are probably wondering is, once they took a 20% reduction in time of work, did they take a 20% reduction in salary with it?
No, you might think that, but absolutely not. No. So there is no change in the salary whatsoever for any of the employees. So the salaries are exactly what they were, just get a better work-life balance.
Okay. And people aren't having to work crazy compressed hours on?
No, I mean, it is very slightly different in that we used to do 5 days at 7.5 hours. We now do 4 days at 8 hours. So there is a marginal difference. There's an extra half hour in those 4 days, but it's and you know what, actually, people talk to me about hours. Honestly, hours are irrelevant to me, in that I couldn't tell you if someone comes, someone starts work at 4 in the morning, 9 in the morning, or midday, and frankly, I don't really care. What all I care about is, as an individual, you've got things you need to do to deliver outcomes for your role, and as long as you deliver those, the rest of it, I don't really need to know about. And unfortunately, the entire team works well with that philosophy. So you'll find, if you spoke to anybody, people will some people will start late, some people will finish late, some people will just take 2 hours off in the middle of the day, or 3 hours off in the middle of the day, and go for a run or a cycle or something. So it's not just a 4-day week, it's a cultural thing that making every individual responsible and empowering them to be responsible, that's all we need to do.
Okay. So in those 4 days, are people working in the office, or is there a work from home element to this as well, or is it hybrid?
Yeah, we have an office. It's I wouldn't say it's a good investment. In not many people come in the office, and again, that's another thing that came out of the last couple of years, in that everyone was working from home, and when it's come to the fact that you can now work in the office, our productivity was super good during those last 2 years. So why say, oh, well, you now have to come in the office because it makes me happy to see somebody sat at a desk? So yeah, that doesn't exist either. So as a member of the team, up to you. If you want to go in an office, you can go in an office. If you don't want to, you don't have to. We have 4 company meetings a year. So that's an opportunity for everybody to get together. But other than that, and we also have lots of social stuff on Teams. But other than that, no, there's no mandatory working from the office.
I think at the moment, and I say at the moment because it's a very 2022 kind of question, there seems to be a big question about the balance of productivity with collaboration. How have you sought to address that?
Yeah. And I do hear that. I mean, certainly some in-person contact time is I like it, and different people like different amounts of face-to-face time. I think the technology, we use Teams. There are other brands out there. We use Teams, and people are so used now to just. Where they might have walked over to someone else's desk, they're so used to now just pinging a note to a colleague and asking for a chat. So, we do spend a lot of time talking to each other as appropriate, and collaborating. And also, we have weekly social events, so it's an opportunity for that. In the office, you might have just gone for a drink or had a chat. We have the socials that enable people to do that.
That's wonderful. It's wonderful. Okay, so I've got one last question, really.
Yeah, go for it.
Are you prepared for all the CVs you're going to start to receive after this video goes live?
So here's the for me, this is the beauty of this whole thing, in that I did this not from a financial or a whatever reason as a business. I did this because I truly believe there's a better way of working. But the outcomes have been, productivity's remained as high, if not higher. Intellectual powers, the ability to think, is definitely better. People are mental state. If you ask people about their mental welfare, I could guarantee it would be way better than it was. But also on a purely financial basis, our staff turnover is 0. So you think as a business how much money it costs you to hire a really good person, how much knowledge that really good person has, how long it takes them to get that knowledge. So you equate the cost of replacing people. Many companies have, especially, we're a tech company. The tech company has had a torrid time of this finding new jobs business in the last 6 to 12 months. Doesn't affect us. So selfishly, not only have people got a better work-life balance, but I've kept my entire team. So yeah, win-win, I think.
Thank you, Ivan. If you want to reach out to Ivan, his contact details are in the description below, and he can be found on LinkedIn as well. Now, if you're interested in videos about careers and project management, then this video over here is about how much I got paid in every single one of my project management jobs. And I can tell you, they were all 5-day-a-week jobs, so I'm feeling a little ripped off.